Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a quick one. I just wanted to sit down and share 4 different tips and tricks that I use to make my makeup last a little bit longer. I've kind of mentioned these on my channel here and there when I'm filming videos or talking about certain products, and a lot of you guys have been asking me to actually show you how I do these things on camera. So I thought I would demonstrate for you guys in today's video. Some of these ideas might not be anything mind-blowing or new to some of you, but I hope I can at least share like 1 or 2 new techniques to make your products last a little bit longer. It's a really nice way to save some money in the long run and not have to repurchase them as often. So please let us know in the comments below if you guys have any advice on how to do this as well, because I would love to hear from you guys, and let's jump into it. So this first trick is something that I usually talk about when I'm mentioning a concealer, because a concealer has a plastic stopper in it, but you can use this trick with anything that kind of comes with a doe foot applicator or an applicator that you have to dip back into the tube. And the stopper comes in handy because it actually scrapes off the excess product. So when you're applying concealer, it's nice because you don't over apply it. But when you get down to the bottom of the concealer, you can kind of see that there's concealer in the very bottom, around the edges, and it's hard to reach all of that because the stopper is in place. So all I do is take a pair of tweezers or pliers and carefully remove that plastic stopper. Once you do that, it's going to allow you to take your wand and really scrape off any product on the sides, on the bottom, near the top that you really couldn't reach otherwise, and really make your concealer or your product last longer. When I do that with my concealers, they honestly last like 2 or 3 weeks longer than when I don't do that. Now the stopper does keep the product from getting too messy, so once you remove that, the wand and the product gets a little bit messy, so you just have to be a little bit more careful, but it's totally worth it for me because it makes my concealer and my products last a little bit longer. And when you're spending money on these products, you want to be able to get out every little bit. So my next trick is actually advice from you guys again, which is so helpful. It makes such a difference. When it comes to powders, which again is something that I do tend to use up fairly often, you usually kind of use up the center of the powder before you use up the edges. Now, I guess it can kind of depend on how you use your products, but for me personally, I always end up with product around the edges, and it's not quite as easy to use once you end up with it around the edges. But something that makes it a lot easier is to actually break up the product and repress it in the center of the pan. You would honestly be surprised by how much product is left in here. When you look at it, it looks like it's almost empty, but if you crush it up, take a little bit of rubbing alcohol and repress it in the center of the pan like you would do with a broken product, it might not look as nice, but it performs exactly the same, at least in my experience. And then it just makes it a little bit easier, whether you're going in with a sponge or a brush, to have it all in the center of the pan. I don't know what it is, but you guys, it really does help. It really does work. It takes a little time, it takes a little work, but if your product's expensive or you really do want to use up the entire thing, it makes it so much easier. So this might be like a no-brainer, but I have to share it with you guys because for a while I was not doing this, and it makes such a difference. When it comes to certain products like eyeliners, the best way to get the most use out of these products is to store them upside down, standing up. Now a lot of my products get stored in drawers, so they lay flat like this, but the actual product lays like that because it is a liquid product. So when you go to apply it, it's not necessarily in the tip of the product where you need it. So when I apply the liner, it's patchy, it doesn't go on as nicely, and a lot of times I think that it's, run out when it hasn't. So when you take your liquid liners or your pen products and you store them upside down, all of the product runs to the top of the product. So when you apply it, the eyeliner goes on really smoothly, it's very saturated, it works really well. It makes me kind of mad because I wonder how many eyeliners I threw away thinking that they had run out or that they had dried up when all I needed to do was store them upside down, and now they last forever. So that is definitely something worth considering if you store your products laying down. And my last tip is to get yourself a little tiny spatula. You guys, this comes in handy so often. You can use it with so many different products, whether they are foundations or concealers. I just got mine from Amazon. I'll link it in the description box below. But this is so convenient to scrape out every little bit of your product. For me, I love using this for like my Hourglass stick foundation because it looks like I used up the majority of the product, but there's so much product left down in the actual packaging. So all I have to do is take my little spatula, scoop it out, and it has lasted me literally weeks longer than it would have if I had just tossed it when I thought it ran out. Definitely recommend grabbing one of these if you like to get every little bit out of your product. Obviously, if a product is old or expired, just get rid of it and buy a new one or toss it. I don't think it's good to use old products, but sometimes a product's not old and there's nothing wrong with getting every little bit out of your products. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.